Hello there, guys. Good afternoon. Hi there. Good afternoon. Welcome to this Friday's episode of Wazzup Doc. This is your host, your Diet Doctora, Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo. I hope you are doing well and ready na kayo for our Friday episode entitled December Proof Lifestyle. So, bakit December Proof Lifestyle, no? So, we opted to have this episode especially named as December Proof Lifestyle kasi by December, usually, dun yung pinaka mga malalaking weight gain, weight differences, and worst, merong mga poor health changes kapag sunod-sunod yung holidays. Hello, Jocelyn. Thank you so much for tuning in. Maraming salamat po for watching. I hope my audio is okay. Sir Norge, hello again. It's good to see you twice this day. So, meron tayong pinablish, no? Well, during the start of December. I think it was November 30. Before the end of our ADF challenge for November, we published a December calendar. Hello, Miss Eleanor. So, yung December calendar natin, meron yung usually in a span of 1 week, meron kang 2 days na naka-fasting ka. So, pwedeng straight 2 days na 48 hours at pwede rin dalawang 24 hours. At after nan, you can do OMAD, dalawang araw na 1 meal a day, dalawang araw din na 2 meals a day, at isang araw ng feasting. So, we will discuss bakit ganon yung schedule natin. So, before we do that, if you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section. We are here via Global TV Network and at the same time simultaneously casted in our page, Dr. Josephine Grace Rojo. Hello po, silent viewer, Elena Uano. Thank you so much for finally commenting. At least I've come to know you. Kasi for those na hindi talaga nagko-comment, hindi nagme-message, at kung ano-ano pa, hindi ko talaga malalaman if you're watching. Currently, I'm quite busy getting ready for graduation and at the same time, the usual December na mga happenings. So I might not be able to attend to all of your queries, especially in the comment section, but I will do my best to attend to you. So, moving on. December calendar. Bakit tayo nag 24 hours ng dalawang beses or at least one 48 hours? This is because it is one of the most, actually no, one of the most well studied and most popular schedule of fasting. Aside from intermittent fasting of mga 16 to 18 hours on a day-to-day basis, mas mainam din na magkaroon talaga ng extended fast. That is a 24-hour fast in every week, no? So, as much as possible, magkaroon ka ng isang 48 hours or dalawang 24 hours. But for beginners, one 24-hour is already okay, and then a maintenance of 16 to 18 hours daily is already okay. But for those who are already pro-fasters, no, yung mga matagal na nagpa-fasting, you will notice na eventually you will plateau. No? Yung effect na na-reap mo noon during the earlier part of this way of life, that is yung mga initial na 16 hours or 18 hours, eventually parang nagstastagnate. And bakit nangyayari yon? That is one of the reason actually is yung metabolism mo lumulower down to your food intake. So parang nasasanay siya, nagkakaroon siya ng tolerance. Don't worry, huwag kayong mag-alala, huwag kayong matakot sa sinasabing maglo-lower yung metabolism. That is actually normal kasi noon your body was used to a heavier weight. So mas malaking weight, so mas malaki rin yung kailangan niyang asikasuhin. But when you are losing weight and you are already optimizing your weight, especially if hindi ka muscular or athletic, you will tend to stabilize on a metabolic rate, yung allowed or parang yung BMR, basal metabolic rate mo na kukonti. And that is not a bad thing. Actually, it's a good thing kasi nga para makakapag-save ka pa. This way, you will only need to eat less, you will only need to spend less, but you will still function optimally. Okay? So before we proceed, hello Jess, hello Chits, thank you so much for watching. Edward Blanco, maraming salamat. Arlene, and Ilre, hindi hindi ko, maybe basta pinapag-change yung pangalan, parang nahihirapan ako. Fernando Rausa. Pinag-change kasi. So, hello, watching here from Hong Kong. Thank you so much. Hello, Princess. Thank you so much for watching and tagging your friends. And for those who are watching right now, you can please feel free to share this to your timeline so that your family and friends can also benefit, no? So, yung December natin, I made sure na meron tayong isang 24 hours at isang 48 hours. This schedule is actually specifically designed para hindi humina yung metabolism. Imagine if you are inducing fasting, no, na agad-agad, halos at kapag kumakain ka, kaunti lang. Especially if your window is very short, like on OMAD or 1 meal a day. So yung tendency niyan, yung body natin, it will adjust to a point na hindi na talaga siya masasanay sa maraming kain. And the moment you eat more than your usual, like for example, in the span of 1 year, 9 months ka naka-OMAD, and then bigla-bigla mag-feast ka kasi December na, no? So with that, yung tendency ng katawan mo is to actually suck in those food, especially if it's not low carb. Kapag yung kinakain mo high carb or at least hindi you're not mindful na sobrahan yung proteins, yung sinasabi natin, proteins when taken so much can also have insulin effect primarily because yung proteins can be converted into glucose as well. Okay? So, if you do that, you will tend to parang masasanay yung katawan natin and it can lead to lower metabolism. So, this schedule that is 48 hours fasting or 2 24 hours fasting plus OMAD na dalawa and dalawang TMAD at isang feasting, it will actually eliminate that kasi yung katawan mo hindi masasanay sa iisang schedule lang. Okay? So, with this schedule, sometimes you will not eat, sometimes you will eat. Si Maming dumadaan, hello Maming. So not it will not let your body get used to just one schedule. So that tendency of that is hindi rin masasanay. So minsan nga meron sinasabi, your body is not will not know kung ano ba ngayon, walang pagkain or merong pagkain because yung ganyang schedule is actually more natural. Kasi in the wild noon, hindi naman talaga natin alam if we have food that we can hunt, if successful ba yung hunting natin for this day. So, we can never be sure. So, our body will tend to maximize whatever it has. Kung merong extra food na natira sa tiyan, sa blood vessels natin, and yung mga defective cells through autophagy, it can be maximized. Nagkakaroon pa din yan. So, if you have questions, we will answer that. Right now, hello Ayeng. Present na si Ayeng. Thank you so much for watching, Ayeng. Per Santos, thank you so much. Noridek Ribaya, Reggie Biarcal, Harley Marnie. Hello Marnie. Marnie is my good friend from elementary sister. Thank you so much for watching. And also, Monique, may question ata si Monique. Hello Doc, nakaka-break po ba ng fasting ang water with salt or coffee with salt? So if you are a reader of the book, you will know. We have a book here, so let me get that. So this is the Perfect at Last book. So this is book 1. Ito yung mga first edition namin na wala pang weight. Kasi yung newer version, ano na siya? Perfect at Last weight. No? So this version will tell you kung ano yung mga tawag natin clean fasting at saka dirty fasting. So, with water and salt, it is still considered as clean fasting kasi wala naman siyang calories. Kapag walang calories, walang insulin effect, so most likely wala ring fat storage effect or yung paghinto ng fat utilization. You'd probably still go into ketosis or yung paggamit ng katawan mo ng fats para gawing energy. And coffee with salt is also considered as clean fasting mostly kasi wala naman siyang insulin effect, but not too much. If you are taking coffee for more than 5 cups a day, sometimes it can lead to increase in cortisol or yung parang a little stress hormone, and that can induce actually elevated sugar in the body. Although natural sugar, not the one that you're taking, but the one that your body is producing. Okay? So, as much as possible, yung coffee, you try to minimize. Hindi siya parang like unlimited coffee all you want. May cap pa din. Although meron siyang component na kung sino yung sanay, ay yun yung mangyayari, at yun yung hindi masyadong nag-e-effect sa kanila. But in general, 5 cups a day is the limit. But as for me, for example, 1 cup lang ako because I really made sure before na hindi ako masanay sa kape. I don't want to be dependent on anything actually. As much as possible, I want to be fluid. I want to be on the go anytime, anywhere na hindi excuse yung hindi ako sanay or nahihirapan ako mag-adjust. As much as possible, I want to be flexible. And one of that, I really made sure to not be dependent on coffee, even while in med school. Kasi lahat ng doktor, sabi nila, and especially med students, like law students, are also addicted to coffee because that is the only thing that keeps people from sleeping so that makapag-study. But I didn't believe that and I don't want to be part of that group na parang hindi magiging functional with coffee. So I trained myself to not be dependent of coffee and as a result now, hindi na nga ako tolerant ng coffee. I love the taste of coffee. I love the aroma of coffee. But right now, its effect for me, its stimulant effect is very, very pronounced, especially when I'm fasting. So kahit naka-half cup lang ako ng coffee in the morning, especially when I'm fasting, hindi na ako makakatulog for the whole night. So I can stay up whole day more than 24 hours. That is something naman na medyo sanay naman kami sa ospital. So I hope that answers your question. But if you are fond of coffee and especially you put Himalayan salt in it, pink salt, or actually any salt, it's the sodium chloride that's more important. You can do that and take that as much as you want. So, Juliet Giritan Mendoza, hello po. Ayang, Doc Grace, ask ko lang po, if okay din po ba low carb diet and IF if my problem sa thyroid? As what I'm saying, no, low carb diet and IF is the natural way of life nating mga tao. It is already imprinted in our genes, in our DNA. So, kahit may sakit ka or wala kang sakit, going to this natural way of eating is actually the best thing that you can do. You can have better chances of healing, no, when you are in low carb and IF because it will allow your body to heal itself. Mabibigyan ng panahon ang katawan mo na nagamutin ito. So, because we have a powerful natural capacity to heal our own selves, but hindi pwedeng habang may sakit ka, ay kumakain ka din. Our body can only attend to one thing at a time. That's why when you are eating, especially high carb meals, especially after lunch, after a feast, for example, you will tend to feel very, very sleepy. Parang nakakapagod. It is because your body is shutting down your whole system para lang maka-accommodate siya ng food digestion. Food digestion ay malaking trabaho yan para sa katawan natin. It is very taxing na kinakailangan patulugin niya tayo. We have this tawag natin caloric effect of food. Yun yung nakakapagpatulog, nakakapag-somnolence, para nakakapagpagod sa atin. It is because we need to shut down our other systems so that our vital organs will not be jeopardized while most of our blood flow ay nasa tiyan lang natin para i-digest yung mga kinakain natin. So, for those with problems with, for example, thyroid or any other illness alone, no? Let alone kahit anong sakit, they can actually, I really believe that they can actually benefit from low carb and intermittent fasting. Kahit hindi drastic, it doesn't need to be long. Kahit as early as kung wala ka talagang experience, you can start with 12 hours, just an overnight fast, and you can extend that slowly. So, Edward Blanco, how about local vinegar diluted sa water, Doc? Would it break a fast? Or 1 teaspoon sinamak diluted sa water. Sinamak is an Ilonggo vinegar spice concoction, no? So it's something that I'm very fond of. In fact, maraming bottles ako dyan. And whenever I make my own. And then whenever I see being sold on the street, especially yung papuntang bukid, papuntang mga farm, I still buy because iba talaga yung local. And I am really actually interested. Thank you so much, Edward, for raising this question because I'm actually interested in actually cultivating or promoting coconut vinegar. Kasi apple cider vinegar is very, very popular because a lot of studies has been done based on US or Western countries. But I believe the moment it is fermented, actually the vinegar is all the same. The process of fermentation is all the same. And if you compare coconut and apple, actually sobrang daming nutrients din ng coconut. So, sinamak is a spiced vinegar that has a base of coconut vinegar. So, as long as it is fully fermented, meaning wala na siyang tamis at wala na siyang sugar na natira kasi na fully ferment na siya, it is considered as zero calorie. Tulad na siya ng apple cider vinegar. And yes, it is considered as clean fast, no? Kasi wala siyang calories. But the moment you put salt or sweetener in it, it is already a different story, considered as dirty fasting na siya. So I hope that answers your question. Hello, Marvy. Nakahabol. Yes, nakahabol. Oh, I'm so glad you ended your fast. So ngayon, it's already day 4. So day 1, I think I fasted. Day 2, December 2, doon ako nag-OMAD. And then, day 3, nag-TMAD ako, 2 meals a day. And ngayon, naka 2 meals a day pa rin ako. Maybe tomorrow, I will do OMAD and then I can feast on Sunday or maybe OMAD na din if I'm feeling okay. So, what's your best advice sa sobrang payat na need mag-gain ng muscle? So, sa mga sobrang payat na need mag-gain muscle, ayaw mo mang tanggapin, but you really need to exercise if you want to gain weight, especially muscle bulk. So, when it comes to eating, you can do cyclical. Hindi ka kailangan mag-strict na keto talaga. But you can avoid all the processed foods, no? And if you eat something with carbohydrates, you make sure it is whole food, whole carbohydrates. So we have a lot of vegetables and even some root crops you can tolerate if you are really for example, underweight ka na, you can tolerate insulin effect so that magkakaroon ka ng muscle bulk. And as you exercise, especially weightlifting, it's really, really good. It's something that I'm looking into na to lose weight and to gain more muscle mass. Kasi ako, even if I go really small, kahit yung BMI ko magiging 19, yung BMI ko kasi 19 to 22. It's all under normal BMI. But yung muscle ko is not that high kasi wala akong regular exercise. But I hope I get to do that soon. And what I'm looking into now is actually something of HIIT, high intensity interval training, or weightlifting, because ito yung pinaka effective when it comes to muscle bulk. And sa mga babae, huwag mag-alala, hindi ka magiging macho. It will take years for you to develop that, but it will tone you up and increase your muscle mass. And with that, you can be more tolerant to sugar than you already are right now. Kasi I need to do that because I myself is very, very intolerant to sugar. Na if you've been following my page, little sweets lang, my allergic rhinitis, my allergic conjunctivitis will flare up. So those who are sobrang payat or those na naka-weight goal weight na but who wants to increase their muscle mass, you can do high intensity interval training or weightlifting or any exercise alone. You can also do cardio, but cardio, mind you, will not be beneficial when it comes for you to look like muscular or something of bigger bulk, no? Kasi cardio exercises will tend to make you look really thin. And I think it has something to do then with our mindset. Being too thin is actually not that bad as long as yung muscle bulk mo is normal to your height and you have the strength at hindi ka naman nangangayayat and you are functioning well. So, Edward Blanco, taga Cadiz Doc. Yes, hello, fellow Negrosanon, no? From Negros. I am also from Bacolod, Negros Occidental. Amabel Colina, hi Doc, been following you since October 23. Wow, meron pang anniversary yung pag-follow ni Amabel. Thank you so much for following po. I hope I get to meet all of you. And of course, Sir Romel Reyes, no? One of our superstars natin yan in LCIF. An artist, if you need a work, no? Work of art na kailangan nyo ipa-commission, Sir Romel Reyes is a really, really good artist. Especially, nakikita ko sa mga posts niya, kahit yung anak niya, sobrang galing din. I admire that. I myself also fond of painting and art. Kaya lang medyo busy. So if you can see my background, yung mga painting dyan, yan yung mga aso kong namatay. So I painted that. And this one also, hindi lang masyadong klaro, yung sa gitna na frame, may figure din ng aso dyan. So it's all doggy canvases. It's oil on canvas kasi nai-inspire lang ako mag-paint kapag namatay na yung aso ko. Parang ano siya, exhaust when I feel so bad when my dogs died. But otherwise, other than that, kasi yung mga aso ko noon, they are also on not really high carb, processed foods, no? Sometimes nagluluto kami before we cook them, chicken, liver, yung bones, yung backbones, niluluto namin, ina-adobo, and then nilalagyan ng rice. Ngayon, yun, namatay yung dogs ko at 5 years old and 7 years old. And ngayon, they're very healthy. Then second batch, hey girl, come here. Here, dali. They're very, very healthy actually, no? Kasi naglo-low carb na sila. So, this is one of them. This is Tigger. Never pa sila nagkasakit, no? Wala na rin sila, hindi na rin sila kumakain ng rice. So, kasi wala na rin, hindi na kami nagsasaing dito. So, they're all very, very healthy. Ang problema nga lang, sa sobrang healthy nila, parati sila nag-aaway at halos magkakamatayan sa lakas nila. So, yun, me, my family, and even my dogs are in low carb. And they're also on OMAD, no? Naka 1 meal a day lang din sila. Kaya lang minsan, kapag merong mga leftovers, of course, meron niyang mga treat. So, binibigyan. So, maybe OMAD, 1 big meal, and light snacks. Pareho kami ng eating schedule. So, yes, Ayeng, you're welcome. So, if you still have questions, guys, feel free to do so. So, yung going back to our calendar, di ba, meron tayong 2 days na fasting. And then, bakit hindi all throughout? Bakit hindi tayo nag-feast? Because if you feast more than you fast, you will tend to generate more fats. Or at least, magkakaroon ka na naman ng yung tawag natin, nitrogen balance na positive. Meaning, yung dinidischarge mo na energy coming from the nitrogen, especially the proteins that you take, is more than you consume. Is less than you consume. So too much consumption than you're spending. So that will go on that level. Kaya as much as possible, yung feasting natin, inaalaw natin once. And kung magka-feast ka man, na merong mga extra carbs going beyond our ideal na 50 grams of carbohydrates in a day, most likely, it will have a accumulative effect kapag long-term na ginaganyan. So, Marvy, thanks, Doc. You are a true help to me. Thank you po. That is really, really something that I feel very, very honored to be a part of your journey. Kasi hindi man tayo magkakilala in person, like especially with this pandemic, na baka hindi tayo magkikita in person. But knowing all of the many of you who are currently watching right now, I feel so honored to be a part of your journey. And thank you so much for your attention and your attendance and always supporting this advocacy. Kasi for yung iba kasi, hindi masyadong nagko-comment, no? Kasi mahiyain. Alam ko mahiyain. Marami talagang mga mahiyain, and those who are just sending their before and after photos. I think before I logged in ng live, I received a photo before and after na naman na transformation photos. But sobrang mahiyain talaga na hindi nila na pinopost in public. Ako, for my eyes only lang lahat. So, okay, thank you so much, and I respect your privacy. But in case you want to help also, we are posting not to brag. Yun yung always natin. Di ba, Ayeng? We are posting not to brag, but to inspire and hopefully to motivate others to do the same. Okay? So I hope we can become a bigger community para mas marami tayong matulungan. So, Darlene Dioso, thanks, Doc, for having the zest to share the right info on keto and LC and LCIF. God bless. You're welcome po. Currently, I'm doing my best whenever I can. So, at least we have this Monday and Friday episode. Kasi comes January, as an update, I will already be graduating. So, baka magkaroon ako ng clinic and I will not be able to attend to all of you. So, but I would like to tell you that as much as possible, we will retain this Monday and Friday episode para kung ano mga tanong na hindi ko masagot, if ever you're sending me a message that I cannot reply right then and there, And it's okay. We will have the chance to answer through our live episodes now. Magla-live episode tayo so that we can still be together. Hello, Fusho. I hope this time frame, 5:30 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. is okay with you. Just in time for you before you do your dinner or breakfast or kung ano man, since we are all fasting. I hope okay lang din yung schedule na to. And with our calendar, no, so we made a 2 days fasting and then followed by 1 day OMAD, pwedeng sunod na OMAD and TMAD. So it's up to you. DIY siya. Merong iba na right after, but as recommended, sana right after fasting, hindi agad-agad na feast as much as possible, right after fasting na 1 day or 2 days, you can follow it up with just OMAD. At kung hindi talaga magawa, TMAD, that is 2 meals a day with a gap, no? Para hindi naman magkaroon ng parang yung tawag natin, refeeding syndrome. Yung refeeding syndrome is the syndrome na kapag after prolonged time na walang kain and then kumain ka ng sobra-sobra, you can have many symptoms like pananakit ng tiyan, loose watery stools, yung iba parang nagbo-water retention, which for me, yun yung nangyayari. But when it comes to bowel movement, wala namang problema. But for some, nagkakaroon ng problem with bowel movement and indigestion. Okay? So, as what we've put in the book, if you have to break your fast, better to break it gently. Okay? So, better to break it gently. So, as much as possible, after the 2 days fasting, you follow it up with an OMAD, and then a TMAD, maybe a feast, and then TMAD. Parang yung cycle mo, parang walang pagkain, kokonte, and then feast, and then TMAD, and then OMAD, and then wala na naman. So that you can have a smooth sailing na schedule when it comes to eating. At kahit surprising siya for your body, just enough na hindi bumaba yung metabolism mo, pero at the same time, hindi rin magkakaroon ng refeeding syndrome because our body is actually better function if we were able to balance between a little stress and a little happiness. Yun eh. It's the homeostasis and hormesis. Hormesis is the stress that we were able to overcome and then we come out stronger. So, and as long as you maintain the homeostasis. So, it's the balance within our body. Every day, kahit sinasabi natin, merong autophagy, no? Autophagy is the eating up of our body for the defective parts of our cells. Yung mga defective parts ng cells natin, kinakain niya to be used as energy. So that is recycling. So that is catabolism, no? Catabolism is breaking down so that we can have food, we can have other sources of food for it to be used. But we should also have anabolism. Anabolism, ito yung storage or formation. However, with food intake, especially high carbs, na-outbalance. We are now becoming more on catabolism than the anabolism rather than the catabolism. So, as kapag merong balance, yung breakdown is less than build up. Ano yung tendency? So, nagbi-build up din. Magbi-build up yung fats, magbi-build up yung cholesterol, magbi-build up yung tumors, magbi-build up yung mga deposits na nagka-clog sa brain natin. So, those kinds are the build-up na pwedeng mangyari. So, we need to counter that through catabolism. So, paano ma-activate ang catabolism? Through fasting. Kasi kapag nagpa-fasting ka, wala kang makain, during that time, your body is forced to break down whatever is already was built up. Okay? So, yun yung capacity. So, whenever we feast, we increase our anabolism. And whenever we fast, we increase our catabolism so that they will both normalize into a normal level. Okay? Klaro ba yan? I hope that is something that we learned. And I know it might not be easy, but we have to do it. And low carb, well, saan naman pumasok yung low carb when it comes to catabolism and anabolism? Okay, low carb will enable you to have anabolism still, but not too much because your energy, yung mga doggy ko, maraming tao. Lizzy girl, come. Kasi maraming mga nakikita silang kung ano. Lizzy girl. Come here, come here, come here. Restrictive boy. Oh, sobrang laki. So, hello po, Ma'am Regina, Rosaline. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry, pasensya ka na, mga doggy ko kasi hindi ko maana. Pwede ko rin silang ikulong sa room, but okay lang, mababait naman yan. Thank you so much for watching. I love you, Ma'am Gina. Salamat po for all the support. So, talking about anabolism and catabolism, so dapat balance lang sila, no? And with low carb, yung anabolism actually dyan is just enough for us to sustain normal anabolic activity. So, yung growth ng nails, growth ng skin natin, pag-grow ng ating skin, those are normal part of anabolism. And kapag nagsusobrahan kasi, kapag nag-high carb ka na, you will have an increased insulin, at kapag increase na yung insulin, it will lead to um, anabolic or fat storing mode. Okay, so that's too much anabolism. That's why, as much as possible, we have to balance anabolism and catabolism. Hindi pwedeng feasting lang. And yung iba, akala nila yung feast is fiesta talaga. But our body cannot detect fiesta or whatever. It will depend on the macronutrients that we are eating. So if we are eating 3 meals a day, especially carby, no, kapag maraming rice, kahit walang ulam, but 3 beses ka mag-rice sa isang araw, your body will feel like it is feasting, okay? Para siyang nagfi-fiesta. But if you are eating lechon, like 3 times a day, kahit lechon pa yan, your body actually will not, especially if kinakain mo yung maraming taba, your body will not feel like feasting. Kasi there will be no carbohydrate that will induce insulin spike. At kapag walang insulin spike, your body will naturally go into a state of ketosis or breakdown of fats to be used as energy. Okay? Yun yung pinaka-importante. Our body actually naturally will burn fats. Normal yan. Yun yung natural state ng katawan natin. But that will only occur kapag hindi rin tayo kumakain ng pagkain na nakakapaghinto ng pag-burn ng fats. And ano yung mga pagkain na nakapaghihinto ng fats? That would include mainly carbohydrates, sugary food. So, I feel the same way, Doc. The honor is ours po. It's different po talaga if you're backed up by a doctor, lalo na this is about health and wellness. Thank you so much for the appreciation, Ayeng. Always very generous yan, very kind sa kanyang mga pasasalamat. And I feel the same way. I feel so honored na yun yung nafe-feel nyo din. And thank you so much. Sorry, kami ang nasa labas. Oh, it's my brother, kaya maingay mga doggies. Kaya pala yung ingay nila, hindi masyadong yung ingay nila uncertain, parang hindi galit, parang lang, parang alarm lang. It's my brother pala. So I will go out in a while. Okay. Ayan, first time, big time lang na post ko na sana two-piece ko nung December 1 since I just turned 1 year doing LC. Kaya lang, R18. Oo nga. Yes. Yeah, we advise, no, to share talaga the journey. But it doesn't need to be R18, especially if meron tayong mga mga baby girls na kasama dyan, no? And I believe, no, na hindi kailangan mag two-piece para lang maipakita na gumanda yung katawan mo o yung gumanda yung health mo. You can wear long sleeves, whatever. It can be seen, no? Sa mukha nga lang, sa ngiti nga lang, sa energy, at kahit sa yung iba laboratory results, it doesn't need to be all skin and all physical. We have this what we call NVS or NSV, non-scale victory. Hindi lahat ng victory natin sa low carb lifestyle is nasa weight. So as much as possible, although weight is something that we see firsthand, but I hope, especially you who are viewers here, I believe, no, na mga pro na kayo at hindi kayo kasama sa general public na yung weight lang yung nakikita. We know that health is more than just the weight. Okay? Maraming indication ang better health. Mas maraming indication yung benefits. Hindi lang weight. Sometimes people can gain weight but they already remove their hypertensive medicines. Wala na silang allergies. Wala na silang diabetes. Okay? So we don't judge based on weight, and we can enjoy other victories, non-scale victories, like for some even, pwede na silang umupo, magbayad ng seat na good for one person. Kasi noon, good for two persons yung binabayaran nila because they are that big. I also saw one before na nagpicture siya ng kanyang paa na nasa loob siya ng bathtub. She is already taking a bath. And she said she was able to take a bath for the first time in 20 years. Kasi for the last 20 years, she was obese na hindi siya kasya sa kahit anong bathtub. So it was the first time. So that is something that needs to be celebrated. And I hope you will get to appreciate that. So if you have your own experiences, feel free to share, no matter how small. Yung iba nga lang, ano, like the one that one of my closest tita friends, no? Kasi mahilig siya magkwento. And this time, kapag nagkukwento siya, hindi na siya hinihingal. Kasi before, sa sobrang kwento niya, halos makikita mo talaga na nakukulangan siya ng hangin. And right now, she can talk and talk all day, all night na alam mo, hindi siya napapagod. And that is something that is commendable. So if you have your own story, feel free to share that. So right now, Marvy Ramos, soon Doc, hahanapin kita. We will meet, I am sure. Thank you po. Right now, I will update you with my lifespan someday soon. No? But maliit lang naman yung mundo. We are lucky na we were able to meet kahit online lang for now. And since we are gonna live longer, especially if we stick with this way of life, so surely, no, we will have an opportunity to meet. Baka magkaroon tayo ng mini convention ng mga low carbers, okay? Queen Animar, thank you so much for watching and supporting and for all the goodies that you usually give me, no? Malaking tulong yan, especially yung mga payong na binigay mo last time. After nung binigyan mo ko ng payong, sunod-sunod talaga yung ulan. So a lot of us was able to use the umbrellas you gave. So maraming salamat. Annabelle Vicky Otuhan, True Doc, at super thankful po ako sa inyo. And I am thankful myself. It is my honor to be a part of your journey. So I hope yun na yung pinaka-gist ng Friday night natin. I hope you have your weekend plans all laid out. If you have anything you want to ask or kung meron bang mga apprehensions, I know may mga family members tayo na hindi masyadong approve sa mga sinasabi natin. Especially yung nga lang na nakakatuwa when we were eating all those junk foods, no? Yung Cheetos, yung mga soft drinks, nobody ever told us that we are destroying our body, that we are putting toxins in our body. But now that we are looking into our food intake, hindi lang tayo kumain ng rice, na parang natatakot na sila at parang worried na sila. When in fact, we are the ones who are worried about them. We are the ones who are worried about them because nandun pa rin sila sa mindset na hindi mabubusog kapag walang kanin, yung kanin ay importante para mayroong energy. So that is so sad because now we know that carbohydrates, sugar, is not essential per se. Kasi kung kailangan man natin ng carbohydrates sa ating katawan, our body can just create its own. Kayang-kaya gumawa ng carbohydrates ng liver natin. Ganon kagaling yung katawan natin that it can create its own carbohydrate. And what's the best thing about yung tinatawag nating de novo carbohydrate, yung glucose na ginawa from scratch by our body, is that it doesn't have the tendency to overshoot. Hindi ka magkakaroon ng diabetes based on carbohydrate na ikaw ang gumawa. Okay? Yun yung something that is very important that I want to emphasize. Yung diabetes, hindi nangyayari sa lahat. Nangyayari lang yon sa mga taong may overconsumption of sugar. And it's not just table sugar na matatamis. It's all forms of sugar that's coming from grains, from rice, from bread, all those. Kasi, as what I told the group of Sir Norge kaninang umaga, I did a lecture for them, a healthier new normal, a COVID-proof, no, na protocol, lifestyle protocol for this pandemic that is COVID-proof. Sinabi ko doon na hindi natin kailangan ng rice, no? And whenever we need, because certain parts of our brain will need to consume glucose, we can create our own and it won't overshoot. So yun. But with diabetes, it's something talaga that is exogenous, galing sa labas. galing yon sa labas na ating kinakain. So, for example, yung current na mga medications to lower the blood sugar is actually designed, or yung initial dose is actually designed for a high carb diet. But if you eliminate your carbohydrate intake, no, and you focus more on good sources of proteins, yun yung clean sources of proteins. So ano yung clean sources of proteins? Lean meat, no? Beef, chicken, eggs, pork, lean pork, meat ng pork. These are healthy, clean sources of meat, especially organic if you have the source. So, yun, kapag nandun lang yung focus mo sa pagkain and you also incorporate healthy fats like coconut oil, olive oil, fish oil, all these, you will go into a natural state na hindi nagsustor ng fats. You can easily convert your energy source from fats and glucose without the added side effects. That is tumor genesis, yung pagtubo ng tumor, pagkaroon ng mga inflammation or mga pamamaga or allergies and all those. Okay, so balik muna tayo sa ating comment section. Hello, LJ. I hope I was able to answer your question last time. Kasi, meron nag-question din, no, na kasi nag-fasting daw. After 3 days of fasting ata, nag-lose ng few pounds and then bakit daw right after fasting, kahit hindi naman nag-feast, kahit normal na kain lang, bumalik yung weight. Kasi, I answered na hindi talaga. Yung, for example, in a span of 3 days, you can lose as much as 7 to 10 pounds. Pero, ang 7 to 10 pounds na yon, majority of that is actually just water loss. Kasi hindi naman talaga nawawala ang fats basta-basta. We only lose 0.05, no? Half a pound per day of fasting. Ganon ka-energy dense yung fats. Okay? So, wag matakot mag-fasting. Kasi kahit akala mong normal weight ka na, you actually still have fats to lose. Kaya ako, meron pa akong mga extra dyan. So, actually, I can still fast. So, I'm not afraid to fast as long as you know. And manage your expectations. Yung water loss mo, mababalik yon. That's why ang fasting, hindi siya pang one time lang. It's a way of life. It can be, what you can alter is the length of time per day, but generally, it should be incorporated on a day-to-day basis. Kasi hindi naman talaga natural na 24 hours kang kumakain. Mas natural ang 24 hours na walang kain kaysa 24 hours na kumakain. Okay? Darlene, Doc, okay ba? Brunch 10:45 a.m., dinner at 4:30. So that's a really, really good. So dinner at 4:30, maybe you will eat last supo na ba yan? Or magsisimula ka palang kumain by 4:30. So maybe we can round it off. For example, yung brunch mo at 11 and yung last subo mo dinner maybe by 5 o'clock. If that's the case. So that is actually, magkano na yan? That's a 6 hour eating window. So that is actually 18:6 na yan. 18 hours fasting na yan, Darlene. And 6 hours eating window. So that would fall under TMAD or 2 meals a day. But if you want to eat 3 meals a day in that short period of time, okay lang then if you want. You can have 1 meal sa brunch and then a little light snacks early afternoon and then closing food by 4:30 or 5. So you can still pasok pa din sa 18:6 food schedule. So, Lynn Buro, Garcia Naomi, salamat Doc, start na ako 16:18 fasting. Kaya ko pala, salamat talaga. Yes, yun eh. Yun yung ability natin to fast that we didn't know na pwede pala natin, na kaya natin. So, like for me, no, yung sinasabi nga namin ng mga friends ko, because most of my friends, if not all of them, are already into fasting. Kaya if we can recall 5 years ago when we were still in our PGI ship, yung nag-postgraduate internship kami in Cebu, yung kasi meron kaming food stipend. So every day in our pantry, meron kaming food sa dietary namin. Meron yang breakfast, kapag nagte 24-hour duty ka, breakfast, morning snacks, lunch, and then afternoon snacks and dinner. So, after dinner, wala na pagkain. So, usually, nagpapa-deliver pa kami ng kung anek-anek na mga pagkain. So, we're actually eating 6 meals, up to 6 times a day. So, sinasabi namin, no, if somebody siguro will tell us, no, if somebody told us 5 years ago na we will be fasting for 16 hours, let alone 24 hours or even 3 days, no? Siguro tatawa lang tayo at hindi tayo maniniwala. But we can do more than we think we can do. sobra pa natin yung capacity natin to do more than what we've experienced. And yung maganda sa fasting, kapag meron ka nang na-reach na personal record, nobody else can destroy that. It's your own personal record. So, if naka-fast ka ng 24 hours, so that's your record na. You can still fast for example, you can try to fast for 25 hours, 26 hours, and the moment na hindi ka makakain below that, you will have the assurance na walang mangyayaring masama sa iyo because you already surpassed that limit, that 24 hours, 48 hours, or kung ano man ang pinakamataas mo. Si Ayeng, I think 100 hours. Di ba, Ayeng? Galing-galing ni Ayeng. So, Linburo, hello. And Connie, hello Connie, na-late ako. It's okay. Anyway, we will post this and we will, pwede naman siyang ma-review ulit, ma-replay. But it would also be best, no, if sabay-sabay tayo mag-live. So, today is Friday. Next Monday that's already December 7. We will have another live episode. So, starting Monday, baka hindi na ako masyadong maka-attend ng mga messages online and posts and comments. But I hope you get to stay tuned every Monday and Friday, 5:30 p.m. para sabay-sabay tayong mag-learn. And if you have questions, we can answer that. And sabay din tayong malaman din yung ng iba yung mga sagot sa mga tanong natin. So, Lynn, lupus can be cured, doc, diba? Yes, noon, sinasabi yung lupus or systemic lupus, SLE, systemic lupus erythematosus, or yun yung common term lang natin na lupus, yun yung makikita natin mga tao na parang nangingitim, parating may mga pasa-pasa, and marami siyang complications actually. It is an autoimmune disease, no? Autoimmune meaning the cells is attacking its own. So that is not a good thing. It is, and akala natin noon forever na silang magiging dependent on on steroids, on anti-inflammatory drugs, but we have low carb practitioners and other doctors. As I know one personally na, Dr. Catherine Oscal, practicing in Manila, she also has lupus and she reversed her lupus at wala na siyang flare. Never na siya inatake ng lupus since she started low carb eating, clean eating. I think she is more on vegetarian and it's okay as long as no processed foods, no sugar, wala pa ring mga ganyan. And I think she is also into intermittent fasting. So yes, marami, kung sasabihin mo, pwede siyang yes and no. It is curable if you stick into this way of life, but it can also be lifetime kapag hindi ka rin nag-stick sa way of life na to. Okay? So, inflammation din, like cancer. Yes, all the problems, most of the problems actually sa katawan natin are byproduct of inflammation. Inflammation or too much inflammation, it starts when you are having too much of a good thing in your body. Hindi na makontrol ng katawan mo. Hindi sanay yung katawan natin na sobra-sobra yung pagkain because as what we always say, our genes, our DNA that evolved as humans for the last 2 million years is more used to food deprivation. Mas sanay ang katawan natin sa hindi maraming pagkain at even hindi pagkain as compared sa continuously available yung pagkain. Okay? Ayeng, meet and greet, push natin yan. Yes, push natin yan. I don't know when, but the universe will provide, God will provide. Let's have faith. Let's continue what we do. And I'm sure magkakaroon na ng bonggang-bonggang time to meet and greet. Mga star yan. So for those who are new, who are first time to view this video, I encourage you all to be part of our community, a very supportive community that is promoting natural health and wellness. The first group that we have is Life Without Rice. So Life Without Rice, basically, it's a meal, mga meals nandiyan, all food photos, nandiyan yan, mga food inspirations. Kasi yung iba, kapag sinasabing life without rice, sasabihin, walang kanin, so ano na lang kakainin ko? Yun talaga yung mga naiisip ng regular, especially Asians and Filipinos. So life without rice is there to answer it. If you open that page, you will saw a lot of foods, no? Yung halos yung iba, hindi bumabalik-balik sa dami ng food options without rice. At ang daming-daming creative na mga tao na nakapagbibigay ng rice alternative. But right now, I'm happy to report that I no longer have rice alternative kasi hindi ko na talaga hinahanap rin ng rice. So, kumakain ako ulam. As compared before, carbs into carbs. Mga pansit na kinakain mo kasabay ng rice. So, that is carbs over carbs. And then, iniinuman mo pa ng soft drinks, drunk carbs, and then nagde-dessert ka pa ng sugary din. So, it's all carbo-loaded, no? Which is hindi naman talaga designed, especially na hindi naman tayo bodybuilders or weightlifters, ganon. Okay, so Loy, hello, Doc. Good eve po from Davao del Norte. Wow, so we have representatives from Luzon, Visayas, and now Davao, Mindanao. Marami tayong mga friends dyan. Also in Cagayan de Oro and Osamis, we have friends there and a family of friends there na naging parang family ko na din because of this low carb community. So thank you. And even abroad, no? So we have friends from Japan. I think Chloe will be online anytime soon. We also have Sumaya from UAE. And of course, we have others from yung kanina in Hong Kong and many other parts of the Philippines. And yes, Verna Vinson, thank you, Doc. We've learned a lot, Gid. You're very much welcome, Vern. So Verna is, I think, based in Dubai. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you get to learn. And Eileen Joy, MC, hello po. Hello din. Maraming salamat. I'm so happy. I'm so happy whenever I see the regulars, no? Regular low carbers na nandito live with us. And it is much more of a delight kapag meron din mga new people, new faces na nakikita natin, nanonood sa atin live. And I hope you get to share this episode, this video with them, no? So that mas maganda if lahat tayo. Imagine kapag lahat tayo na mag-feast or kakain or meron lang availability of something low carb anywhere we go and you don't need to explain yourself. Although we really don't need to explain yourself. So, for me, ano ba nasa akin dito? So, sa tabi ko, meron ditong coffee. So, it's all black coffee. Coffee lang na walang cream, wala ring sugar. So, yan lang. Buti na lang na walang ganyan dito. And also, I have water. Kasi kanina naka-dry fasting ako. 14 hours lang naman. Short lang. And meron akong mga mixed nuts, mga trail. So, kakain siguro ako mamaya. But kanina, kumain ako ng chicken. Whole quarter chicken. Yun lang. So, Eileen Joy, wow, watching from Israel. Wow, amazing. Thank you so much for Eileen Joy. I hope marami-rami na rin dyan. Kasi if you're actually from based outside the Philippines, I think easier to do a life without rice. Kasi hindi ganon ka-popular yung rice doon outside. But what is hard is to let go the other rice alternative na parang nire-replace natin for rice, no? So, yung mga usual na rice alternative, yung mga flatbreads or even mga wheat breads, mashed potato, and ano pa ba ang usual na mga rice alternative? Pasta for Europe, no? Especially Italy, sobrang hilig sa pasta. But those kinds of carbohydrates, hindi man sila rice, but they can still become sugar the moment they are inside our body. As yung nga sinabi ko sa kanina, kahit, ano ba yan, uh, asukal, pwede rin siyang rice, pwedeng bread, pwedeng biscuit, pwedeng soft drinks, pwedeng ripe mango, no? The moment na kinain na natin, it gets processed in our system and our body can no longer detect where it comes from, but it will all become just blood. Okay? So, Renan Ketchon, done sharing. Thank you so much, Renan. Maraming salamat for sharing. Sige lang, sometimes yung mga post, it might not pick up, akala mo lang walang nanonood, but you do it for the sake of doing it. That's already enough. Hindi mo lang malalaman yan. Who gets inspired, who will need to hear that at that certain point. For some, yung iba nga, we have good friends like Doc Fee, no? Sabi niya, hindi niya alam kung kailan niya nakita or how she was able to bump into my profile or isa sa mga videos na ginawa ko. And it was the needed push, the push that she needed for her to start being vocal and very active also in promoting this way of life. So you'll never know who gets to get inspired with this. So just share on kahit video man ito or kahit mga YouTube videos or kahit anong sources of low carb and fasting, motivational, anything that's related to our way of life, feel free to do so. Hindi mo alam kung sinong mga, yun yan, sinasabi dyan, meron niya mga silent readers, okay? So, ayan, 112 hours is the record to beat, Doc. Wow, pero yung record mo talaga, pinipeg ko, 12 days. Grabe. So, I think kung gustuhin mo man yung 12 days, mag-ano muna, magpa-bulk up muna, no? Para magawa natin yung 12 days. Pwede ako mag-bulk up para makagawa ko ng longer days. Pero ngayon, I think I'm not sure if I'm looking into 12 days, maybe 3 or 5 days na lang. But this time with incorporation of daily dry fasting. Kasi, at although I was doing it before, pero before kasi, the moment I wake up, parang nagmamadali talaga akong uminom ng tubig, thinking that it's really the best thing. But it's not that true pala. Hindi kailangan natin punuin ng tubig ang ating katawan. We can become, the moment we are used to this way of life, para siyang sa food, na we are appetite corrected. We eat whenever we know that we really need to eat. Hindi lang siya out of boredom. And so with water, that is also the same thing. We can also have a thirst correction wherein alam natin kung kailan tayong totoong uhaw sa tubig or maybe we just need a little more salt or whatever. Hindi lang kailangan na, at kapag uminom ka, hindi ka lang ubusin mo ang 1 litro agad-agad. You can drink into sips or few gulps at a time at hindi ubos na tumba baso agad. Okay? So we are already about to end and we only have a few minutes left and I thank you all for staying with me. I hope you get something from this episode of our Wazzup Doc. If you have suggestions for our topic for Monday, I am very much open to it. Maybe we can discuss that. Kung meron kayong topic na gusto mong i-discuss when it comes to keto, when it comes to low carb, when it comes to fasting, that is very much welcome. Thank you so much. I think we only have a few seconds left before we say goodbye. Anything more you need? So I would just like to greet my family now, all the Franco family, Padilla family, and the Rojo and Chua Favorada family. All our family who are watching and are supporting me all the way and are also uh, able to trust me enough to start low carb and fasting as well. So Miss Eleanor, thank you so much from start to finish po talaga. I'm so happy. So, and thank you for what you shared, no? Kaya nga pala, I forgot to tell you, I already did oil pulling. Medyo the experience itself is not that good kasi hindi tayo sanay sa amoy ng oil at saka sa texture. But the benefits like the cleanliness after and how I felt after, it's actually okay. So maybe I will give it a try another time. But as to like something doing it regularly, I still have to look into the real benefit from it. But as of now, parang okay lang. Enough lang that I tried it. So Marvy, thank you then. And Sir Romel, thank you again. That would be all for now, guys. Maraming salamat. Have a happy Friday and have a fruitful, memorable, and happy weekend ahead. Bye-bye po. Thank you.